big news has happened relating to our existence and our place in the universe. Today, I'll play you some clips, some audio clips from Congress in Washington, D.C. of a very important meeting. In Congress, in America, Congress, which is the highest court of the USA, the place where they also create new laws, a very important place in Washington, D.C. So in Congress, three men very high up in the American military, Navy, and Air Force, they came forward and they said that, this is going to sound crazy, but they said that the USA government has spacecraft, or you can call them UFOs, crashed or found spacecraft, UFOs of non-human technology. I repeat, non-human technology. And the military have recorded hundreds and hundreds of sightings of UFOs from planes and from ships, and with different sensors, radar sensor, weapon sensors, eyewitnesses, so seen with the eye from pilots, infrared sensors, electromagnetic sensors, etc. This is wild. You might think, oh, this is nonsense. But you must understand, this is the highest house of law in Washington, D.C., the U.S. Congress. These three men, all from separate parts of the military, they all swore, raising their right hand in the air, to say the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. If they're found to be lying, they will go to prison, go to jail for a long time. Okay? So they said that the US government has spacecraft, and the first one they found was in the 1930s. So this goes back a long way. Now they have many spacecraft, and they've been trying to reverse engineer the spacecraft. Reverse engineer means trying to understand how they work and to copy the technology. Of course, it's secret. I mean, top secret. I mean, come on, they don't want China and Russia, etc., to know about this. Actually, this is just what one man said, David Grush. You see, all of the three men said different things. I'll come back to David Grush because he talks about alien bodies, non-human pilots. I'll play you his clip last. If you think I've gone crazy, you can find information about what I'm telling you on CNN, The Independent, BBC, all the biggest news media reported on this. Okay, so back to these three men. So first we have Ryan Graves, who is a Navy pilot. He said he represents 30 other of his colleagues that have spoken to him about what they've seen and recorded in the sky. He says that every day they see UFOs. A UFO, by the way, means unidentified flying object. So many UFOs that it's become so normal for them that new pilots are told about them in their training, just like a regular thing that happens in the sky. He says the ones that they see are orbs. So an orb is a big circle, okay, with cubes inside. And sometimes these orbs with cubes inside come close to the airplanes. He says there are so many that they are a safety concern for the pilots. And they do up, down, left, right, at ridiculous speeds, very fast speeds. He says they move in a way that is outside our human understanding of physics, of science. Here is him speaking. So he says UAP instead of UFO because nowadays UAP is the formal professional name for them. UAP standing for unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay? So listen to Ryan Graves here. And just remember, UFO and UAP are the same thing. And just remember, UFO and UAP are the same thing. Yeah, but we say UAP nowadays. I slowed it down a bit for you. Okay, play.
During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, two F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs.
Another key point he makes is that these are recorded on multiple systems, radar, infrared, but straight away it is put away and kept secret and people are not allowed to talk about it. He also says that the reason pilots do not report it more is because they are seen as, well, crazy and can lose their jobs or be punished or lose their reputation. Interestingly, he says that only 5% of UAP sightings are reported. The rest are just ignored because people do not want to lose their jobs, right? Listen to this clip.
The majority of witnesses are commercial pilots at major airlines. Often, they are veterans with decades of flying experience. Pilots are reporting UAP at altitudes that appear above them at 40,000 feet, potentially in low Earth orbit or in the gray zone below the Kármán line, making inexplainable maneuvers like right-hand turns and retrograde orbits or J-hooks. Sometimes these reports are reoccurring, with numerous recent sightings north of Hawaii and in the North Atlantic. Other veterans are also coming forward to us regarding UAP encounters in our airspace and oceans. The most compelling involve observations of UAP by multiple witnesses and sensor systems. I believe these accounts are only scratching the surface, and more will share their experiences once it is safe to do so.
I have a few questions for Mr. Graves. What percentage of UAP sightings, in your belief, go unreported by our pilots?
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
So like 95% basically don't report seeing UAPs.
That's just my personal estimate.
For now on, we'll use the word UAP for UFO, okay? So, by the way, we do not have many reviews yet on Apple Podcasts. So those with Apple accounts, please give us a 5-star rating if you enjoy the show to help new people discover our lovely podcast. Okay, next, the other man, Mr. Fravor, is a pilot on an aircraft carrier, which is a big ship, a huge boat that carries airplanes, an aircraft carrier. And he talks about UAPs of a different shape and size. So now we have different kinds of UAPs in the sky. So actually, it was told at Congress that there were 144 reports of UAPs by military pilots since 2004 that they absolutely could not explain. 144, completely unexplained. There are hundreds more that they can explain. You know, it's a weather balloon or a satellite, but military experts admit, like they confess, they can't explain 144 of these sightings at all. Mr. Fravor says he encountered a UAP shaped like a tic-tac, like a pill shape, that completely defied the laws of physics. And he observed it with 3 other pilots.
A few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapons systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
These three men are representing what hundreds of people in the military have seen, and as well as commercial pilots. They are representing a much larger amount of people who they've spoken to. And next time they say more people will speak. Ooh, how exciting. Next time more people will come forward. And finally, the craziest thing is the non-human biologics, the non-human bodies of pilots. So let's hear the final speaker, David Grush, David Grush has a top level of clearance at the Pentagon and in the American military. And he said, right, this will blow your mind, okay? So after speaking with more than 20 people, he said this.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program. Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
So they found non-human biologics. Oh my God. He says they found the bodies of pilots that are not of human origin. You must understand that if these men, after swearing in Congress to tell the truth, if they are lying, okay, not saying the truth, lying, then they will go to jail, to prison, you see? And of course, completely lose their careers and good reputations. So, what happens next? Well, they are pushing for answers from the military. They want them to declassify some more information. And next time, they say more people are ready to come forward. Oh, it's so exciting. More people coming forward. Of course, the military has denied it, saying it is not true. And they also said that one of the men is a liar, David Grush, and has PTSD from his war experiences and mental problems. So it's all very interesting. But this isn't the first time there's been a hearing about UAPs in Congress. 2 months previous to the clips I played you in May 2022, the US military discussed in Congress reports of 140 sightings, 140 instances where they've seen or recorded UAPs that are completely unexplained. 140. And there are over 400 more that they think they have an explanation for, but they're not really completely sure. The result of this hearing is basically they admit UAPs are a real phenomena. UAPs are there. They exist. But next, what are they? That's the position. What are they? Let's find out what they are now. Are they a threat to us or not? What are they? Adding to this, they now encourage people, pilots, to come forward and share their experiences if they see them in the sky. So next, we'll discuss how UAPs are often sighted near nuclear sites, both places where they keep nuclear weapons and nuclear energy and power plants. So, interestingly, UAPs have also been reported around nuclear sites. There have actually been military reports of the UAPs switching off or disabling nuclear weapons, both in the USA and Russia, also appearing near nuclear sites, like in the Ukraine, with UAPs appearing near Chernobyl in 1986, and also at Fukushima in Japan. In Japan, after the big tsunami tidal wave in 2011 that affected the nuclear reactor there. UAPs being sighted around nuclear sites especially happened during the Cold War, where the USA and the Soviet Union were building as many nuclear weapons as possible between the 1950s and 1980s. Examples. Okay, here we go. Historic, recorded real examples at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, America, 1967. Many UAPs were sighted and their communications were disrupted, the communications of the nuclear sites, or the nuclear weapons there went offline, so they lost power. Similar events happened in Maine, 1975, North Dakota, 1968, South Dakota, 1966, where witnesses, so were nearby people, saw a UAP shoot down a red beam of light at the missiles, although the missiles were not shut down on that occasion, but people saw that, like a red beam was shot down at the missiles. It's only recently that these events are now public knowledge. They have been declassified and are no longer secrets of the American government. But most things still are secret. So what do you think? Here's an interesting idea for you. The average galaxy, okay? Our galaxy is the Milky Way. The average galaxy has 100 billion stars. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has about 200 billion stars. About how many stars have planets? Planets such as Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Apparently, about 50% of all stars have planets. Next, how big is the universe. Of mathematical models, they put the number at about 2 trillion. 2 trillion galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars in each one. But that is only the observable universe, the universe that we can see or perceive. And some scientists, Alan Guth, say the whole universe could be as big as 150 sextillion times the size of the observable universe, which of 2 trillion galaxies. 150 sextillion, crazy number. So sextillion is 21 zeros, yeah? My goodness. The scientist Kardashev says there are 3 different levels of civilization. A type 1 civilization is able to use all the energy available on its own planet, as well as be able to control earthquakes, volcanoes, weather systems on their planet. A type 2 civilization can use all the energy across its whole star. For us, that is the sun. A type 3 civilization can access and use the energy across its whole galaxy, including accessing the energy from every star and every black hole. And then a type 4 civilization can manipulate energy across the whole universe. Which type are we? We are nearly at type 1 level. Statistically, there are millions of intelligent life out there. Maybe many of them are already in contact with one another. Maybe not one, but many have visited our planet or interact with our atmosphere in some way. Maybe they try to help us a little bit here or there. Or I don't know, maybe we're like a zoo to them. And for them it's like seeing monkeys at a national park. A bit like here in Vietnam when I go out traveling. Maybe they've been visiting us for years. Some evidence of this is you see UAPs, you can see them in old paintings, in temples, in wall art. You can go on Google to find pictures of this if you like. If you type in UFOs in old art, you'll see many examples. It's fascinating. Whatever it is, there seems to be a growing amount of evidence. Growing amount of evidence meaning more and more evidence that some kind of technology, non-human technology, has been interacting with our environment for a long, long time, and many times. But who knows if they are terrestrial, meaning from Earth, terrestrial, or extraterrestrial, meaning from another world, extraterrestrial. They could be from another dimension. They could be us, but a future version. Maybe this world is a simulation and they are the programmers, or created us, or maybe just different creatures in a simulation. I'm just saying all different ideas that you find online. Spirit guides, angels, demons, I don't know, yeah? But let's be open-minded. Who knows? We know a very limited amount of information. We're like ants on a tree. And for the ant, the whole universe is that tree, yeah? Also, we can only take in information from 5 different senses, right? 5 different senses: seeing, listening, tasting, smelling, and touching. How limited? What exists outside of these senses? Maybe they are, I don't know, avatars of a higher intelligence, or robots, or maybe they are specialized military equipment. But, I mean, we've been seeing these things for a long time, yeah? And not aliens. Or they are aliens. Or maybe the American government has distracted and tricked us all by telling us some crazy alien stories. My hardcore Christian friend says they are interdimensional demons. Interdimensional demons. Ooh. So, speaking about the UAPs being attracted to nuclear energy, many were spotted all around the nuclear Fukushima power plant after the big tidal wave in 2011, the tsunami in Japan. And some Japanese there see them as a kind of angel, like angelic, positive force. There's even apparently scientific evidence after their appearance there and also at Chernobyl that the radiation levels, the nuclear levels, went down, as if these UAPs turned up and helped the situation. You never know. Nobody knows. But one thing is for sure, the truth is out there. Ooh, there is a truth. How exciting is that? But we just don't know it yet. But I've always found that idea exciting. The truth is out there. To the greatest questions, is there a God? What's its nature? Why are we so intelligent to other terrestrial creatures? Why this? Why that? Yeah, there is an answer to all of these questions. So these 3 whistleblowers that we discussed today, David Grush, Ryan Graves, and David Fravor, these 3 whistleblowers swore to tell the truth, yeah, at Congress. They are not the only men to come forward, not the only whistleblowers. Another guy, Bob Lazar, who used to work for the US government at Area 51, says he used to be in a reverse engineering program, okay? And the government have many different spacecrafts there. Some of them crashed, some of them found underground, yeah, dug up. And he said a very interesting thing. There's a great interview with him on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. He says if you stand underneath them and look up, you cannot see anything. They appear as invisible because of how they can bend gravity and light. So maybe the sky is absolutely full of them. Why not? Why not? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Okay, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Apologies if it sounds a bit too crazy for some of you, but the things I've said are reported on Fox News, CNN, The Independent, like it was big news, yeah? The last meeting at Congress was about 5 months ago, and, well, I'll let you know what happens in the next one. This did happen. Whether it's true or not is up to you. Research it yourself. You choose what you want to believe. On YouTube, you can see it with the automatic subtitles, if that helps you understand. And yeah, if you could give us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that would be so cool. So I'd so deeply appreciate that. Okay, lots of love, guys.